All right, popping back in for our last segment. We are going to just quickly do a quick visit to the pound for pound ranking for each of us because we know that the top three consensus in this kind of a permutation as far as the order is we have Alexander Usyk, undisputed heavyweight champion. Terrence Bud Crawford, who is the undisputed super middleweight champion at this time, and then we have Naoya Inoue, who is he currently undisputed at this? No, he's not, but he is, but he recently just um
Did
retained.
he drop one of those belts?
I think so because he they're basically saying that he retained his belts, but not his undisputed. But
Now he's undisputed at junior featherweight, at least according to the boxing scene at
No,
122.
no, you're right. You're right. You're right. To his all right.
He's a
So we
122 pound
we have
undisputed
three.
champ.
All right. Thank you for that, Craig. So we have three undisputed champions. All right. So we have
Four.
Naoya Inoue, but the ones, yeah, but ones who we are establishing as far as number one pound for pound. But yeah, but it might
Okay,
be
okay,
four.
okay.
That's a good point. So we have Naoya Inoue, who is undisputed super bantamweight. We have Terrence Bud Crawford, who's undisputed super middleweight champion, and then we have Alexander Usyk, who's undisputed heavyweight champion. But Boston Jared brought up a good point is that we still have Dimitri Bivol, who is the undisputed light heavyweight champion, who doesn't, a lot of people are haven't put into this conversation, but I think there is something to be said about that. So we're gonna start with me this time. So for me, I am going to keep Alexander Usyk as my number one pound for pound. I got Terrence Bud Crawford number two, and then number three is in a way, and then I feel comfortable with putting Dimitri Bivol number four. While I think that Bud faced the better opponent between all three of those, I'm not counting Bivol, is that I think Usyk performance, his last performance was particularly masterful. He has the kind of wow factor because this is a fluid list. So his reign, and then he, like Bud, was able with his victory was really able to establish himself as an all-time great. I think not even just within the heavyweight rankings, but just overall. So that is what I'm gonna go with. So let's go with Boston Jared. Let's give it your pound for pound ranking.
My pound for pound ranking, I go by kind of the old school. I try to keep to the old school definition, which some people think is kind of fairy tale, imaginary, hypothetical
Hmm.
stuff, but that's what it was created for, right? It was if
Hmm.
all these guys were the same size and they fought, who would win? And after
Yep.
watching their performance last night, if these guys were all magically the same size, I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat Alexander Usyk. I would pick him to beat Naoya Inoue. Those would be tremendous fights. Close fights, probably. I'd pick him to beat him. However, if we're going by kind of this new age, as Dave likes to use the word holistic, this more holistic look at undisputed, um, I'd have to take a step back and really, really, I don't know that we have enough time in the segment tonight, looking at strength of opposition and all that. It's tough. Alexander Usyk has a very, very underrated strength of opposition. I'll be telling my grandkids about the Myris Breedis versus Alexander Usyk, and to this day, Myris Breedis, who is now retired, gave Alexander Usyk the toughest fight of his career. And if you go back and watch that fight, the fight was on YouTube. It was like dubbed over in Russian or Latvian or whatever it was in. I scored that fight from Myris Breedis. Myris Breedis was a tremendous cruiserweight champ, and he beat Alexander Usyk that night. I believe Alexander Usyk was given a split decision win over Breedis. But his reign at cruiserweight is going to be one of the forgotten but serious high level accomplishments at cruiserweight, man. So, man, Bud's got the better win. His best win is better than the rest of their best wins. Inoue's best win is Fulton, and I still think that Usyk's best win is Breedis. And when you compare Canelo Alvarez to Fulton to Breedis, man, it's tough to not go. Plus, with recency bias, it's tough to not go with Terrence Crawford now supplanting those guys. Those guys have been more active. Inoue has been fighting not the highest level of guys until this weekend where he just demolished Morajan Ahmadalib, who was a very good fighter, by the way. Um, but yeah, man, maybe it's call it recency bias, man. But by the old school criteria and the quote unquote new school criteria, I will still I have Terrence Crawford now as my number one pound for pound fighter, followed by Usyk and Naoya Inoue.
All right, and we're gonna round it out with Coach.
Man, I'll be quick with mine, man. Honestly, I don't even have Bevel and Usyk really up in my rankings, man. So since we saying the four, then I'll say Crawford, Inoue, Bevel, and then Usyk. And I tell you this right here: people can say what they want to say. You know, uh, he might have knocked Dubois out, I think in the rematch or something like that, but he lost that fight against Dubois. That body shot dropped him. So people can say what they want to say, but he lost that fight. He didn't make the count. The ref, judge, or whoever just made a bad call on that stuff, man. So Crawford, Inoue, Bevel, and then since we're talking about these four, Usyk. But I would say to Boston's point real quick, you just got to remember, man. I understand. And one thing about the strength of opposition fight, that argument, it's true, and they can have it. But make no mistake about it, man. Skills are just skills, and them two jokers, man. Crawford and Inoue, they can rumble, man. Them jokers can box, bro. Them jokers can box. So I get it, and I agree. I got what Jared is saying, but it ain't no different to like when you building a fighter in the beginning. He might not fight the best or whatever. You go back and look at somebody's earlier record, you building that fighter, but I'm still looking at the skill set, the techniques and where they throwing the punches. Did they actually do what they supposed to do? So to me, it's hard for me not to go the old school, route, what Boston was talking about. So I gotta go with Crawford and Inoue.
All right.
Pound for pound.
There it is. There it is. So that wraps up another banging segment. We appreciate y'all rocking with us once again. We want to give the shout out to Coach Dave and to give our props to Terrence Crawford. He did a masterful job. Really surprised me and a lot of people. And so I think he is like Coach is getting his flowers, and so he should enjoy this time and hopefully make the best decision for his career going forward. So with that said, this is your boy Professor Nims. I'm signing off for Boston Jared, Coach Dave. Shout out to the Casual Rand. We are the pundits of pugilism. Thank y'all for rocking with us. We are out.
Peace.